Oh, hello there. Oh, my. Feels like I've been asleep for years. I suppose you're wondering what this is all about. I remember your aunt being just as surprised. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Arbitrix. I am the master of the table and a prodigious teller of tales. And you, my friend, are about to embark upon quite the adventure. I hope you're ready. I hope you're ready. The storm came out of nowhere. The ship is on its way back to the biggest port in the Crown's Islands. Its voyage has been a success. The substantial treasure on deck was, let's say, acquired by 4 scoundrels who hired the ship for their venture. Who are they, you ask? Pick them up and see for yourself. Thomas Turlinger, the apothecary, a genius of experimental potions with a rather questionable clientele. If you want to know more about a scoundrel, place them on one of the plinths on the table edge near you. Calls herself Nuna. Don't ask where she got her heretical and very illegal powers of dark sorcery. This is Hammer, silent thug who's really good at solving problems with her ironclad fists. Introducing Horatio Nine Lives, the Thrice Blessed. The swindler came up with that name himself. As the storm swells, Captain Frost abandons the wheel. As her there at the rails shouting nonsense into the wind. The crew aren't happy. "They've bewitched the captain!" yells First Mate Barnabas. "And brought this storm upon us! We must take the ship for ourselves!" This is mutiny. A band of heroes would try and talk the crew around, but these are scoundrels. The best way they know to end a mutiny is to put it down. Hard. Time to fight. Each turn, you must spend all your yellow power pips to move, attack, or rest in order to defeat your foes. Move your scoundrel next to a foe. If you move too far, you'll begin to expend their power pips. Play this card on a foe within range to expend power pips and attack. Play this card to expend the rest of your power pips and fortify your scoundrel. The remaining crew comes up from below to join the fight. Play this card on an ally within range to expend power pips and give them a boost. On the mutiny. The scoundrels will have to defeat them all. accounted for. The fight is nearly done. Hang in there. The mutineers, but you still need to regain control of this ship. There's a lot going wrong, and all your scoundrels will need to pitch in if they want any hope of surviving this storm. Try to choose the best scoundrel for each task. The more stars they contribute, the better. Place them on the skill checks and see for yourself. He's about to snap. Better get someone smart to tie a better knot. The captain has abandoned the wheel. Someone strong needs to steer the ship through this storm. Frost is waving that pistol around with a mad gleam in her eye. Someone needs to talk sense to her. The mast is creaking ominously. Someone fast needs to climb the rigging and trim those sails. Play this card on the skill check to attempt it. Take and roll the die to find out if you succeed. She lowers her gun. The storm. I heard it. Calling out to me, my ship. Save my ship. Or at least die trying. Something was influencing her. Something in the storm. But there's no time to worry about that. The rabbit goes back into his hole. Yes! They did it! The cannon's not going anywhere. Uh-oh, you probably needed that mast. At least no one was crushed under it when it fell. The wheel and managed to hold on, steering clear of the worst of the storm. You've done all you can for now. The ship's as safe as it can be. And just as well as a giant wave is about to roll over the deck. Brace for impact! I've always wanted to say that. Unfortunately for these scoundrels, there are only enough safe handholds left for 3 people. One of them is going to be washed overboard. The question is, which one? It's up to you who fails to hang on. Once you've made your decision, pick them up and throw them overboard. Gone. Deep beneath the waves. Only 3 scoundrels left. Knowing them, their first thought is that this means a larger share of the treasure. There's no time to mourn or celebrate. You've survived. But your ship's badly damaged, and you're not alone. That's the Sunfish, the personal vessel of Solomon Sanko, governor of the Crown Islands. He's taken a battering from the storm. Though, it's still in better condition than your poor ship. Wait, those aren't sailors. They're orcs, the most feared pirates in these seas. The governor and his captain are tied up on the deck. The orcs clearly don't want you interfering with their plans. Prepare to be boarded. Good thing you secured the cannon. Now you can use it on the orcs. That must have hurt. The cannon's blasted away one of the orcs. Free Governor Sanko, who is very grateful, and Captain Starlin, who is embarrassed he wasn't able to escape his bonds in time to help.
Your ship's in no shape to sail. You should come with us to the capital,
Offers the Governor. governor's right. Your storm-battered vessel is headed to the bottom of the ocean. It seems the scoundrels have no choice but to bring their precious treasure aboard the Sunfish.
Excellent,
Says the governor.
take the cabin next to mine. When we get to Half Arch, you shall be properly rewarded for your bravery.
Half Arch, capital and largest city of the Crown Islands. Home to fishers, traders, smugglers, artisans, privateers, and scoundrels.
Come with me.
Insists Solomon Sanko. The governor is determined to make good on his promise. Later that day, after a feast in his estate, the governor surprises the scoundrels with something they never thought they'd experience: fame and glory.
All hail the heroes of Half Arch! Thomas Turlinger, brilliant apothecary dedicated to helping others. This is Hammer, warrior of true conviction and strength. Nuna the Wise, who protects us with mysterious powers. Unfortunately, our heroes can't stay for long, so let's drink in their honor. Without further ado, let us begin the Heroes' Celebration! I hope you had a pleasant evening. The heroes of Half Arch are always welcome in this city,
Says the governor before he's called back into the hall.
Ah, it's the heroes. Leaving already. That's a shame. May we meet again in equally joyful circumstances.
Captain Starling says before excusing himself. After a round of farewells, the scoundrels slip away. Though they've lost one of their number, they've gained a second chance. They agree to split the treasure equally and go their separate ways. Time for your award. Choose a new ability and it's yours. Choosing a deceptively humble pouch of precious gems, Nuna slips the treasure inside her sleeve before leaving, hopefully to a remote, peaceful island. Thomas appraises the treasure with a keen eye, weighing his options before scooping several stacks of coins into pouches and leaving Half Arch. The hammer shoves a few bars of solid gold into her rucksack before leaving Half Arch. She doesn't know what her future holds, but she's never been one for making plans. And with that, the treasure chest is empty, and our scoundrels... heroes go their separate ways, vowing to put their scoundrel days behind them. And they did. Well, at least for some time. "7 years is a long time. Long enough to build a whole new, quieter life. Tonight the scoundrels return to Half Arch for the first time since that day."
Over here.
It's Governor Sanko.
Quickly, we may be watched.
A figure darts from the shadows and stabs the governor. This is very bad. You must find out why the governor summoned you. The governor is barely conscious and gravely wounded. Your scoundrel tends to him as best they can. A city watch patrol. This is not good timing. More city watch. They must have heard something while on guard duty on the West Dock. That's not good either. And then there's the governor's mysterious assailant. They're getting away. 3 problems. And only 2 of you left. Make a choice, quick! The gates can be barred, keeping the city watch out, but it's usually a 2-person job. Your scoundrel will have to be fast to chase down the assassin before they get away. In an impressive feat of strength, your scoundrel drops the bar into place. The city watch won't be getting in that way. Your scoundrel darts forward and grabs the assassin's robe. Suddenly there's a bolt of lightning, and the assassin vanishes. Whoever it was, they have magic. Thomas's potion revives the governor, but as he wakes he sees the apothecary. He spits it out and bats the vial away.
No, I don't want medicine from a criminal like you. Oh, yes. I know what you did. What all of you did. And soon everyone else will too.
And with a final splutter, he dies. A quick search of the governor turns up a map of the islands with several locations marked, each one horribly familiar to one of the scoundrels. No time to wonder what the governor's words or map mean. The city watch have seen the scoundrels with his dead body. You'll have to fight them off. the watch, but it's only a matter of time before more come to investigate the commotion. You need to get out of Half Arch, and that means you need a ship. At the east docks is the governor's ship, the Sunfish. He doesn't need it anymore, but there are plenty across the Crown who'll recognise it, for good or ill. The scoundrels don't recognise the ship at the west docks. The guard probably means captured pirate or smuggler. Maybe good for laying low, but who knows who owns it. Whichever one you're going to take, now's the time to choose. The privateer militia, the Crown's navy of authorised pirates, has impounded what looks like a smuggling ship and captured one of its crew. It's called the Sawtooth. The scoundrels haven't heard of it. Hopefully no one else has either. The city watch officers noticed the scoundrels immediately. Hey, where are Terry and Neil? They must have done something to him. The chained smuggler is trying to get your attention. Maybe she can help you. Hey, you want this ship? So do I. Let me free and I'll sail it for you. She seems genuine, and you could pick that lock. Your scoundrel begins picking the padlock. It's tricky, but they're sure they can do it. Another tumbler falls into place. Nearly done it. The smuggler's chains drop to the ground. Thanks, friend. I'm Anguilla. But let's save the introductions for after I get my ship back, eh? sawtooth is free. Now, what do you want with my ship? The scoundrels explain they've been framed for a murder they didn't commit, and they need a ship to escape and catch the real killers. On the run, trying to prove your innocence. Never heard that one before and believed it. But, all right, you've got yourselves a first mate. Now, say the word and we'll set sail. Finally, let's get my sawtooth underway. Now, let's be clear. When this is all over, I'll be wanting my ship back. Once clear of the docks, the scoundrels examine the map they found on the Governor. The marked locations are places from each scoundrel's past, a past they had hoped to leave behind. Let me see that. Anguilla snatches the map. I knew it. This is an old sailor's code on the back. I can figure out what it says, given a day or two. As you sail the Crown Islands, your choices won't just affect you. The consequences of your actions will be reported in the Crown Herald. The scoundrels have been set up, and killing those guards won't have helped their case. You're gonna have to find out who framed you to clear your name. Who was the masked assassin? And who knew the scoundrel's secrets and told the Governor? Your scoundrels will need all the help they can get. Go on, pick an upgrade. While the code is deciphered, you have another clue to investigate. The Governor's map. Revisiting those places will be hard for the scoundrels, but it's your only lead. Thomas hasn't returned home in years. His manservant Wandsworth may know something. As night falls and the ship nears the Emerald, the crew fire a barrage of questions at Thomas. He holds up his hands for silence. He'll address each of them in his own time. The Hammer wants to know if Thomas made any weapons here on the Emerald. He deflects by saying that there's nothing in this inventory that she would want. She gives him a cold look that says she knows how to break weapons she wouldn't use. Nuna senses something in these waters, something powerful. Thomas asks if it's magical and she's not sure, but then no one's sure if alchemy is magical either. The two briefly debate whether his concoctions are part of the natural order, but when he asks how natural her powers are, She ends the conversation abruptly. My old crewmate Rosa used to sail with Captain Harrow round here. Rosa Devil Hand, we called her, because her right hand was all weird. Story was that she got bitten off by a giant bug on the Emerald, and then someone helped her grow it back. Thomas asks about how Rosa's hand is now. Dead, like the rest of her, I hope. As the Emerald draws near, Thomas waves aside any further questions. He has more preparations to make before revisiting his one-time home. Thomas guides the ship into a water channel he knows well, despite the years since his last visit. Even in the darkness, the scoundrels can tell he's unsettled. Emerald Post, an out-of-place grand mansion built to resemble Thomas's family home. He is concerned the torches outside are dark. Before he can explain why that's a problem, a huge flaming insect flies into the clearing. As it flies towards the mansion, Thomas cries out. There are unstable chemicals in his lab. A normal flame won't set them off, but the fireflies burn hot. He calls out for Wandsworth, his loyal and trusted manservant, but there's no reply. Thomas explains his alchemical torches keep the insects away when they're lit. Normally, Wandsworth makes sure they're always burning. If you're going to find out what's happened, the scoundrels must light the torches and stop the flaming fireflies from entering the mansion. Coming in from the west, it's transfixed by the blaze and flying towards the mansion. If it gets in there, the mansion will explode. These alchemical torches require a complex procedure to light. Fortunately, there are instructions on the shell, assuming your scoundrel understands it. Your scoundrel has prepared the base chemicals. Now they need to prime the ignition mixture. Your scoundrel needs to follow the procedure to light the torch. The mixture is primed. Now to carefully add them to the base chemicals. Okay, now they just need to heat the solution of the secondary mixture. I don't know, I'm not an alchemist. Just keep going. Your scoundrel needs to follow the procedure to light the torch. They've done it! The torch's distinctive smell is already having a dramatic effect. Now to light the other three. uh-oh. Buzzing in from the east is a flaming firefly with eyes only for the mansion. If you don't stop it, the mansion will explode in a blaze. Yes, that's half the torches lit. These insects seem to have noticed what the scoundrels are up to, and they don't seem pleased. Nearly there. Just one more torch left to light. Another flaming firefly appears from the west, heading for the mansion. You better stop it. Insects emerge from the swamp to the east. Another flaming firefly appears from the east, heading for the mansion. Stop it! Your scoundrel needs to follow the procedure to light the torch. Is lit! That's all of them! The swamp fills with the smell of Thomas's alchemical repellent. It's a bit unpleasant for the scoundrels, but clearly much worse for the insects. Time to put out the fire and search what's left of the mansion. Which is, thankfully, quite a lot. Thomas heads inside, beating out the flames and calling for Wandsworth. There's no answer. But eventually he emerges holding some items that might shed a bit of light on Wandsworth's fate. This charred note includes a sketch of a familiar figure. The assassins were here. But it's drawn next to a hastily written list of supplies. Wandsworth is, or was, alive and fled the island. There's also a piece of brilliant blue coral near the note. Thomas explains that he was studying it, believing it to have some special properties. It's supposed to be in a protective case. Why would Wandsworth remove it? Wandsworth couldn't have gotten far. In fact, there's only one place Thomas can think of. You'll have a chance to catch him if you move quickly. Fort Rasp, an old military outpost now home to the pirate Sebastian Harrow, one of Thomas's best customers back in the day. Wandsworth would have sought protection if anything happened here. directs the captain towards Fort Rasp, having been there before. But last time was more than 7 years ago, and in the company of pirates who made the abandoned naval outpost their home. It's too quiet. Even pirates sleeping between raids have lookouts, and we've seen no one. I'll keep the ship ready for a quick getaway. Watch your backs, you three. It seems your captain's instincts were right. The only pirates here are dead. Thomas examines a body, but there's no obvious cause of death. All he can say for certain is it happened recently.
Ahoy!
That shout came from the tower at the far end. As the scoundrels approach, Thomas recognizes the figure. It's Sebastian Harrow himself, though he's looking a bit worse for wear.
Who goes there? State your business.
Seems pretty shaken. It's best if Thomas tries to talk him down.
Terlinga? The apothecary? You're here for Wandsworth, aren't you? I don't care if you're the Kraken yourself. I be staying up here where it's safe.
Bright blue shards of something bursting through the stone of the fort.
Oh, me leg! No, I can walk. You got a ship. Oh, we can talk about your man once we're on it. We have to move.
Before the group can get too far, the ground shakes and the dead pirates rise.
We're gonna be fighting our way out.
Harrow is right. The only way out is through those things. Pick your path wisely. brittle. Hit it hard enough and your scoundrel can break through. Cracks appear in the surface of the solid coral wall. It's weakening. This weird coral must have infected all of the pirates. Your scoundrel smashed it! They're one step closer to the exit. If Harrow had his axe, he'll be able to break the barrier quicker.
Biter, me old mate.
Harrow was talking to his axe, which isn't at all strange. Break it down. Keep hitting it. It's going to smash soon. The way's clear. Well done. they even grow to that size? You might want to get the other scoundrels to help. Just like the others. Quick, break it down before you're overwhelmed by the infected. And just in the nick of time. Thomas notices the coral isn't growing on the wooden wharf. He starts to come up with a theory, but there isn't time. The others push him onwards. You took your bloody time. Come on then, what are you waiting for? They jumped straight up out of the water. Looks like you're not quite safe yet. In his crew. No wonder he was unstoppable. coming. Get to the ship. are gonna keep coming. Get to the ship. Make a break for it. Come on, time to cut and run. Anguilla tips her hat at the pirate. Welcome aboard, Harrow. Don't you be getting any ideas about who's captain here? Harrow looks between the others with a critical eye and finally relaxes.
All right, you did save me. I'll tell you of Wandsworth. For only yesterday when it happened. He came, said someone was after him, and he was right. Bastards destroyed my ship and took your man. Something were off about him. Wandsworth kept scratching himself, and a day after they're gone, my crew turned.
He and Wandsworth studied similarly blue corals long ago, but they locked it away when the experiments made it dangerous. Now it seems clear Wandsworth has been colonized by it, and it's using him to spread. A colonized vector is brain dead. They're still living bodies completely controlled by the coral's polyps. It doesn't know how to talk, yet by all accounts, Wandsworth was lucid and talking, so maybe he can still be cured. I don't pretend to understand half of what you've said about these colonists, but it sounds like we must find Wandsworth and stop it. However, before they can do anything, it's the Alchemist Guild's underwater flagship, the Rorqual. It's got your ship in a vice grip. For now, it seems you're trapped. Ahoy there! Now this is an understandable misunderstanding to be sure, but have you considered you got the wrong ship, Captain Paradale Conroy? I believe you have Thomas Turlinger on board. He's wanted for illegal human experimentation. Turn him over, and you can be on your way. There you are. We turned a blind eye to your dangerous experiments for too long, Turlinger. Before Thomas can say anything, he spots a familiar face among the alchemists.
Welcome back, sir. Though it appears we've found ourselves in a bit of a pickle.
It's Wandsworth himself. So the Rorqual was at Fort Rasp. Thomas needs to get Wandsworth back. But how? He only has a moment to decide. A notorious pirate captain must be worth quite a bit. But is it enough? Perhaps, if Thomas is fast enough, you can tip the odds with a single shot. Thomas isn't usually one to do the right thing, but maybe he can start today.
Captain, how dare you!
Attack! Thomas has to get to Wandsworth before it's too late. reinforcements from below decks are coming up to join the fight. How many alchemists are hiding down there? How many alchemists are hiding down there? Are hiding down there. Thomas breathes a sigh of relief. Wandsworth is still alive.
Thank you for coming all this way, sir. But I'm afraid it's far too late for me.
Wandsworth pulls down his collar to reveal his neck. The coral infection has reached his spine. Wandsworth hands him a notebook.
I trust you'll be able to make sense of this. Now, if you'll indulge me in one final request, please allow me to die as Wandsworth, faithful servant of Thomas Turlinger.
Thomas needs to secure their escape, and the infection in Wandsworth could do to the Rorqual what it did to Fort Rask. Wandsworth deserves so much more. Ensuring he doesn't turn into a coral creature is the least Thomas can do.
It's been a privilege, sir.
Thomas can grieve later. They need to secure their escape first. That's the bridge of the alchemist's ship. Your scoundrel should be able to create an escape route with it. Your scoundrel quickly identifies the vital controls in the bridge. This won't take long. They've done it! The pressure in a main valve overloads and... Well, you can see for yourself. The Rockle is starting to sink. Get back to your ship. Use this opportunity to escape. This is it. You can leave the Rockle behind now.
Blimey, is this what you've been up to all this time? I thought I was going to be feeding the fishes. You got grog in your cabins? Well, I'll be helping myself.
Thomas looks at the Rockle as it sinks, the crew scrambling back into the vessel. It pains him that he was unable to save Wandsworth. At least he was able to give his faithful manservant the ending he wanted. So, they managed to repair the Rockle and make it to port. Hopefully, that's the end of the Coral's plans for colonization. Wandsworth's notes reveal that the assassins who murdered the governor are the arms of the Kraken. Does the mastermind also worship the Kraken? Wait, there's more. According to this, the mastermind holds a grudge against the scoundrels. This confirms that the mastermind is someone from the scoundrels' past. As they sail on, the captain signals for one of the scoundrels to come over. I know you ain't telling me everything, but I won't pry. I deciphered the note, and they're telling the governor to throw you lot in jail. But Governor Sanko met with them instead. Was that why he was assassinated and the scoundrels framed, so they'd still end up in prison? While you ruminate on what this means, pick a new ability for your scoundrels. clues just opened up more questions. If they're to find out who's behind all this, the best leads are still the locations on the map sent to the governor. Nuna knows the way through the reef. There's a power in Bastoya that could help, she says. The ship proceeds slowly, following Nuna's instructions to pass through the treacherous Black Reef. There's an eerie silence aboard. I knew you wasn't really from Jaw's side, and I figure Nuna ain't your real name either. Makes sense though. Only village on the Crown where you can see the Temple of Bastoya on a clear day. Looking from afar, but never going back. I'm sure you got your reasons. The Hammer's only question betrays her fear of Nuna's power. Do they all have sorcery on Bastoya? She's relieved that the answer is no, but wonders aloud what makes Nuna so special. Nuna replies that it was simple. She didn't die in the trials. Thomas starts a barrage of excited questions. How are Nuna's powers linked to Bastoya? Where do they truly come from? How were they bestowed? She cuts him off with a glare. She's not a specimen to be studied, and there must never be another like her. As the ship clears the reef, an uneasy feeling settles on the crew. There's a reason outsiders don't come here, and that Nuna never tried to return. Nuna guided you to a hidden landing spot with a disused path which has brought the scoundrels to this courtyard undetected. But you're not the only one sneaking around. That was one of the assassins who killed the governor, but they're gone now. Best to focus on the task in hand. Nuna needs a shadow stone for her scrying ritual, and they're all inside the temple. But these Bastoyans won't be pleased to see her. You better figure out a way to get inside. These statues of Nuna could provide cover for the scoundrels to seek to the eastern steps without being seen, if they have the finesse to time it right. Timing it just right, Nuna and the scoundrels flit behind the statues to the cave entrance, and the Bastoyans guarding the main doors are none the wiser. The paved steps slowly give way to a carved tunnel which leads the scoundrels to the anointing chamber, and one of the 3 shadow stones. These caverns are why the cult of the thing outside came to Bastoya. Beneath it flows the blood from below. Shadows from the realm outside, congealed into thick, dark fluid. This anointing chamber was built to grant Nuna her powers. She lay in the sarcophagus, and the sluices covered her in liquid shadow until she drowned. A distant memory, but one she can never forget. But the blood mustn't flow unless a ritual demands it. So why are the sluice gates open? It must have been the assassins. You must act quickly. Complete the scrying ritual and escape before the vile ichor rises too high. Or close the sluice gates to stop it from flowing altogether. Either way, you'll also need to fight off the things from below. Creatures of liquid darkness that swim into this dimension through the blood. The mechanism for this sluice gate looks intact. Just pull the lever to close it. The lever sticks a bit, then shifts. The mouth of the sluice gate slams shut. The path leading to the sluice gate has crumbled away. Your scoundrel will need finesse to jump over the blood from below and get to it. Impressive! Your scoundrel quickly pulls the gate's lever. Even from above, the scoundrel feels the unnatural cold of the blood from below. Another one! Better close those gates, or get out of here fast. The dark, geomantic energies of the temple are focused into shadow stones like this. If she concentrates, Nuna can use its power to see what is hidden, just as the thing outside does, with its many eyes. Nuna reels from the Shadowstone's dark power as she receives her vision. But she's seen too much. The images were so vast, so quick. She'll need the power of another Shadowstone to bring what she saw into focus. Best not linger in the caverns. The two exits lead to the other Shadowstones. The western stairs ascend to the sky portal on the temple summit, the other crucial component of the anointing ritual. The eastern stairs lead to the throne room, from which Nuna once ruled as the anointed one. Another one! Better close those gates, or get out of here fast. Another one! Better close those gates, or get out of here fast. I'm not sure you're taking this rising ichor of an unfathomable dark god situation very seriously. Come on! Close the sluice gates, or escape while you still can. Sluice's gate mechanism has been vandalized. There's no lever left to pull. Your scoundrel will have to try brute force to smash it closed. The scoundrel swings a stone in a wide arc, and with an almighty clang, the gate slams shut. It's not opening again anytime soon. All the sluice gates are closed. You've bought yourself and Bastoya some more time. As the scoundrels ascend, Nuna admits she only visited the sky portal once, long ago. She doesn't know what you'll find up there. With the sluice gates closed, the remaining blood from below will hopefully drain away before it causes too much trouble. The sky portal is a door into the realm outside, home of the cult's shapeless, many-eyed god. It was opened once, when Nuna survived the ritual. Sacred lore forbids it opening again until the thing outside is ready to devour the world. And just like the sluices in the anointing chamber, the portal has been tampered with. It's open. Already, shadow creatures from the realm outside are exploiting the tear in reality. More will come through unless the portal is sealed by deactivating the soul siphons. The Shadowstone, meanwhile, is right there to be used for Nuna's scrying ritual. With this Shadowstone, Nuna can control her vision, and so focus on and remember the important details. the Shadow Stone enhance Nuna's powers, and she starts shaping it for the ritual. But it'll take some time to complete. These soul siphons supply energy to the sky portal. They can only be controlled through a sacrifice of life energy. It's theoretically safe, if you can understand how it works. The scoundrel supplies just enough life force to the siphon and commands it to turn off. It felt like being hollowed out. And there's still another one. Will only close if both soul siphons are deactivated. Try not to sacrifice too much of a scoundrel's soul to do it. As the feeling of icy fingers plunging into their heart subsides, the scoundrel manages to command the soul siphon, and it deactivates, closing the sky portal again. Completes the ritual, and the glimpses she had before come sharply into focus. The other scoundrels hear her gasp in revelation. She waves away their questions. She needs time for the images to settle in her mind. It's time to go. As for Sekvan, well, he's not helping you now. But you can escape the old man easily if you don't want to fight him. Nuna's ritual has granted her a vision, but it'll be safest to get off this island before she shares that information. Time to leave the temple. Outside the temple, all is not well on the island of Bastoia. The energies stirred up by Nuna's use of the Shadow Stones have allowed shadow things to swarm in the courtyard. It's Sekvan, Nuna's once loyal servant.
Anointed One, you have returned, and what glorious chaos you have brought us.
He's reveling in the destruction, but the shadow creatures seem to be avoiding him. Perhaps he can help you? At the front of these armed Bastoians is Aldos, leader of the rebellion against Nuna, which forced her from the throne years ago.
The Anointed One. Don't let her escape this time.
If you want to use this exit, you'll need to persuade the Bastoyans you mean them no harm. Or kill them all. There's currently no safe path off the island. You'll have to destroy the shadow things, or find another way to exit. The Bastoyans are as frightened of the shadow things as of Nuna. If your scoundrel can convince Aldos you're on the same side, you can work together. Swayed by your scoundrel's words and the evidence before him, Aldos finally nods. Bastoyans, the Anointed One and her friends stand with us against the darkness. We fight together. The Bastoyans shift their attention to the shadow things.
Traitors!
Sekvan's voice carries across the courtyard.
You are not worthy to the Anointed One. Oh, thing outside, great beast, send your children to destroy the faithless. The Bastoyans hesitate before steeling themselves and fighting on. You realize this small force is their last best hope. All that stands between the island and destruction. The Bastoyans lose many more of their numbers. It's hard to imagine the island will survive once you leave.
Baldos lowers his sword and nods at the scoundrels. Thank you for your help, Anointed One. Take your leave, before we remember your past crimes. You hear the muted cheers of the Bastoians as they celebrate averted disaster. Their culture will live on, and they seem content to let you go. You've done all you can for the cursed island of Bastoia. Hopefully, it was good enough for its inhabitants to survive. Now that there's time, Nuna explains what she saw in her vision of what's to come. An ancient, evil monster awakened and threatening the crown. Ship ahoy! Look to port! I can't see anyone on deck. At least no one living. What's going on? This doesn't seem like a coincidence. Better investigate and find out what's going on. Once on deck, you can see several strange round objects, which are suddenly revealed to be eggs as they hatch open. With their enemies defeated, the scoundrels take a moment to investigate the ship. These were just regular fisherfolk before they were murdered by their cargo. What are these weird eggs? And why are they transporting them? While you put the clues together, choose an upgrade for your scoundrels. You've found more questions than answers. There's nothing more for you here. The scoundrels leave the ship floating dead in the water. The Smuggler's Cove is run by one man, Patrick Quick. Hammer says he'll know something. As the ship approaches Shadeport, memories of her last visit flood back to the Hammer. She tenses up. The others notice. She tries to distract herself by speaking with them. Upon learning the Hammer was an orphan, Thomas is curious about the life of a street urchin. What do they eat? Where do they sleep? How do they stay warm at night? The Hammer shakes her head at this barrage of ignorant questions. Of all the scoundrels, Nuna seems to understand most what it's like to have their childhood robbed from them. The Hammer is lucky, according to Nuna, to have gotten away from her adopted family while she was still young. So you was a red hat, eh? Don't look so surprised. How else would you know where to find Shadeport? I ain't judging ya. Question is, will they be happy to see you? The Hammer grimaces, confirming the smuggler's suspicions. As the cove of Shadeport comes into view, the Hammer clenches her fists. She'll get her answers, one punch at a time. Shadeport is a hidden harbour used by smugglers, pirates and criminals when they can't safely dock in Half Arch. Right now, you're in the same boat, so to speak. The Hammer's been here before, and she thinks it's the best place for leads on the whereabouts of her old boss, Patrick Quick. Hammer! It's Paca, a smuggler she knows from her gang days. You have to leave. They're here waiting for you. These are members of Patrick Quick's gang, the Red Hats. There she is, and she has friends. The gang members barely notice your ship. The Sawtooth fits right in here. A Red Hat sniper. But firearms are strictly controlled by the Alchemist's Guild. And why doesn't that rifle make any noise? New gunpowder? Kraken's blood. Paca, distraught over her friend's death, asking for her help will probably require some convincing. Your scoundrel should be able to push this crate, providing cover as you get closer to the sniper. Still a ways to go, but the crate is holding up as cover. Push forward from behind cover. Plenty more Red Hats where those came from. Better get out of here. Push forward from behind cover. closer. There are too many red hats here for you to beat them all. Time to come up with an escape plan. Push forward from behind cover. Getting closer. Push forward from behind cover. Getting closer. It's a tough but short climb up to the sniper. A nimble scoundrel could sneak up behind them and take them out. The sniper doesn't notice your scoundrel until it's too late. With the sniper gone, maybe you can convince Packer to smuggle you onto Ruby Island, where Quick's Lieutenant Weevil is in prison. He's sure to know something. What I'm trying to tell you is that the red hats are going to keep coming. Find a way out of here before they wear you down. Packer is still shocked from her friend's death. Your scoundrel will have to snap her out of it before she'll take you out to the island. Packer shakes her head, but looks a little less frightened. Keep trying. Your scoundrel mentions getting revenge against Quick. Ha! That does the trick. Packer steels herself and nods. We'll take the skiff. Follow me. All aboard! Everyone, keep your hands inside the skiff. The water's gonna get hot where we're going. Off to the Ruby prison. Time to find out what Weevil knows. Steam rises its waters, boiled by the island's volcano, fencing in the prisoners better than any wall. The only safe place to land is this dock, protected by the imposing guard tower. The guards clearly know Packer well, and quickly agree to her request. Packer waits outside with her skiff, and the scoundrels enter the workyard. Visitors, what a surprise. The hammer instantly recognizes Weevil from her days working for the gang, and he recognizes her too. Thanks for coming all this way, Hammer, just to see little old me. We was told you might pop by. I'm a little busy for a chat, but me crew here will sort you out. Permanently. Oh, looks like this was a trap. You'll have to get past these goons if you want to find out what Weevil knows. Get good thugs these days. You lot, protect me. Weevil flees to another group of prisoners. Tough mob these days, eh, Hammer? I'm impressed, but these Crims have been doing hard labour for years, and you won't crack 'em. Get 'em, gang. An actual river of lava. You can't wade through that, but if they're nimble enough, a scoundrel could try leaping over it. They made it! All in one piece, and nothing's on fire! Well done! Useless dogs were my mates. Why did you have to kill them all? Weevil's rattled now. He runs to higher ground, but really he's trapped himself with nowhere to go. Seems the guards have had enough of this riot. It's too bad they're not on your side. If words fail, perhaps the fist will help. The hammer knows how to make a coward like Weevil talk, if he lives. Don't kill me! The hammer pauses, and just for a second, it isn't clear what she'll do. But then she releases Weevil.
Quick's made a deal with some alchemists working outside the guild. They're making him some kind of silent gunpowder. The tower's open. If you leave now, you can beat them to the diamond.
Diamond Island? I know the place. And I can definitely get you there before the smuggler's tide goes out. Despite its brilliant white sand, the Diamond is an ironic name. It's a tiny, worthless island. No one has any reason to come here, which makes it perfect for those looking to make shady deals. Light a signal when you're done, says Packer. Thanks to Weevil, the scoundrels got here before Quick, allowing them to find a hiding spot. The one with the especially tall red hat is Patrick Quick. He'll have answers, according to the hammer. They're discussing the silent gunpowder deal. Most of the goods must still be on board the alchemist's ship. Once they know you're here, the advantage is lost. So make the most of the opportunity by choosing a scoundrel to distract them. Your scoundrel rushes forward and manages to draw all eyes to them. Now's the perfect time for the others to strike. While the red hats are distracted, a scoundrel can hopefully take one out. Your scoundrel socks the gang member with some solid moves. That's one less red hat to fight. The way up provides no cover, but with the alchemists distracted, a Quick scoundrel has a chance to climb up to the ship. Though the chain scratches their palms, your scoundrel reaches the ship quickly and knocks an alchemist out.
Why? If it isn't Hammer. Found some new friends, have you? Well, we'll kill them too.
Remember why you came here. You need to find out who's behind all this. no ordinary cannon. It's not even clear what it fires. But at this range, it's surely powerful enough to destroy Quick's ship. Once someone figures out how it works, that is. The scoundrel is starting to get an idea how the weird cannon might work, but they're not confident enough to fire it yet. Keep trying. It's now or never. The scoundrel cranks the handles, pulls the levers, and fires! Woo-hoo-hoo! That was impressive. It's too bad your scoundrels don't know how to sail an alchemy ship. Down, the hammer revives Quick and throws him onto the white sand. You win, Hammer. I'll talk. I don't know who's behind all this, but I do know who they're working with. Aside from the masked assassins, there's a bunch of regular fisherfolk involved. They're being played as much as you are, but to what end, I have no idea. I just know it's for something big. Before the scoundrels can process Quick's information, Anguilla pulls up at Diamond Island with Packer on board. An alchemy ship, eh? A fine prize for good old me. As the others board the ship, the hammer glares at Quick. It's time to decide his fate. Does she leave Quick on Diamond Island, parched and alone? Does she have Packer hand Quick over to the authorities? With a last glare at Quick, the hammer chains him up for Packer. You know, the Crown Guard and me ain't all friendly, yeah? But I'm liking the idea of the bastard rotting in jail. So I'll think of something. The hammer doesn't say anything as the diamond disappears over the horizon. Perhaps she can finally close the book on her troubled past. Once they figure out who the mastermind is, I mean. It seems Packer kept her word and handed Patrick Quick to the authorities. What happened on the island didn't go unnoticed. Hopefully no one saw the scoundrels. According to Patrick Quick, innocent fisherfolk are being conned into working for the mastermind. But to what end? Your scoundrels don't get much time to ponder their next move. Look lively! Ship ahead! Less than a mile ahead is a vessel you never imagined you'd see again. Captain Frost's old ship, sunk 7 years ago. Just like its captain. Captain Frost? I heard she went overboard 7 years ago. How can this be her ship? But there it is, back from the deep, and sailing away with Frost herself at the wheel. Could Frost have been behind this all along? There's only one way to find out. As you follow her ship, it becomes clear it's headed for a location all too familiar to the scoundrels. Everything is finally coming together. Select a new ability for your scoundrels. destination left. When it becomes clear that Frost's ship is definitely headed to Storm Island, the captain looks at the scoundrels with concern. I've seen some crazy things since I set sail with you lot. And if we're gonna face the endless storm, I need to know you've got my back. And each other's. I know we're not exactly buddies, but are we in this together or what? After a moment of awkward silence, Nuna steps forward. She usually prefers to vanish into the background, given it's rarely a good thing when people notice her. But today, she doesn't mind. Nuna and the Hammer nod understandingly at each other. They both want the same thing. To end this conflict, so they can be in control of their destiny once again. Without saying a word, they pledge to make it happen, together. The Hammer clears her throat, indicating she'll go next. For the first time, it doesn't bother her that she can't solve every problem with her fists, now that she's not alone. They make a deal. The Hammer will use her fists to protect the three of them, and Thomas will keep healing their wounds. They've been through enough together to know that each will honor their deal to the very end. Thomas is usually the first to speak. His mind is his weapon after all, and his ideas are generally superior. Not this time, though. He now regards the others his equal. Nuna and Thomas work quietly, brainstorming strategies. Abruptly, Thomas compliments Nuna's intelligence, confiding that he's glad they're tackling this together. She smiles and admits that while she's not glad she's here, she is glad she's here with them. That's what I wanted to hear. Now that I know we have each other's backs, let's finish this. The scoundrels gather behind the captain, and together they steer the ship into the endless storm. Came here with Captain Frost 7 years ago. A fitting venue for a reunion. Temple of the Kraken and the non-proverbial Eye of the Storm, the mythical source of the island's constant, endless storm. Frost has to be here somewhere. Best spread out and start investigating. The statue has an ominous message carved into its side. Ask, and you shall receive a gift from the past, a gift from the future, and a gift from the present. But be warned, the price of greed is eternity. Horatio, the fourth scoundrel when he was washed overboard 7 years ago. Why would the Eye show them the last moments of their dead friend? The other statues look exactly the same as the first. They even have the same message carved onto it. gasps. That's exactly the same vision of the ancient monster when she was scrying in Bestoya. The first vision was of the past, the second one of the future. The next gift from the eye must be of the present. Horatio again, this time in front of a small island. Before the scoundrels can decide what to do, a figure emerges from the shadows. It's Captain Frost herself. Seems that you finally worked it out. Shame that you'll all drown here. She activates the final statue, and then... The endless storm is now so powerful, even the temple interior is affected. At this rate, you'll never leave the island alive. Oh, this must be what it meant by the price of greed is eternity.
He say you steal our eggs. You pay with life.
Well, that explains why the orcs are here. Too bad they're not interested in hearing your defense. You'll need to take out your enemies and weaken the storm if you want to leave. This statue appears to be powering the Eye of the Storm. Perhaps if you can move the statue... budge, not even an inch. They'll need to try again, perhaps from a different angle? Of electricity in the air. The endless storm is weakening. Only one thing left to do before you can leave.
give my life to the Kraken. You'll never stop it.
Frost is not dead yet, but she's barely hanging on. As the last enemy fall, the scoundrels turn their attention to Captain Frost. If there's someone with all the answers, it's her.
He thinks Topaz Island will make him a hero. What a fool. He'll bring death and destruction.
And with that, she breathes her last. Well, this is it. The scoundrels know everything now. All that remains is to confront their past one last time. Their old friend, the fourth scoundrel. So, is it over? Sawtooth nearly ran aground when the waves grew. If you say so. Now, you might want to hold on tight. Sharp and it'll be slicing your feet if you aren't looking. This is it then. Watch your back.
No. Put that over there.
That's Horatio. They're doing something to the yellow eggs.
Why, hello. If it isn't my old friends Thomas, Nina, and Hannah. What's the matter? Had a bad day? Or week?
Those yellow eggs. The scoundrels suddenly remember where they saw them. On the abandoned ship not too long ago. Could these be the eggs the orcs thought they'd stolen too?
Would you kindly turn around and leave? You already had your moment. You're not stealing my spotlight again.
Whatever Horatio is up to, it cannot be good.
You're staying. If you insist. Kill them!
When you were aboard the abandoned ship, a hatchling emerges from the egg. just pop out of that hole. Who knows how many of them are down there?
Once again, the valiant swordsman is betrayed by his friends, the ones who abandoned him all those years ago. Is what the old me would say. This time I'm blessed with power beyond imagination. Power befitting a glorious hero. No, befitting a king.
The ancient creature from the vision of the future. The one that'll bring death and destruction. Isn't she beautiful? A shame I'll have to kill her when we get to Half Arch. But when I defeat her, everyone will know. The hero of... It appears they had a mild disagreement over their roles, and the ancient creature decided to terminate their relationship. Now, he wants to terminate your scoundrels, and possibly the rest of the crown. Those eggs are still coming, and I don't think they'll stop anytime soon. Away when they approach its main eye. Or perhaps it's Horatio's sword it doesn't like. Either way, you'll need to find your way there without being hit. What an unusual place for an eye. This must be how the giant crab sees you on its back. were swiping at you. Now, if it doesn't want you near its giant's eye, that must be its weakness. But who will risk jumping down there? The hammer glares at the eye with a sword in her grip. Something tells her that this will be the last time she'll wield a weapon. She's glad she's wielding it. With its eye destroyed, the ancient creature's power crumbles. But the killing blow came at a cost. The world is saved, and 2 of your scoundrels were rescued by your captain. The last scoundrel, however, is gone. They never really cleared their names, but they've stopped caring about that. It's no big loss. It never felt right when they were lauded as heroes. True, they might be more hero-like these days, but it doesn't matter. After all, they're scoundrels.